Have you ever just woken up on a random weekend and felt this sudden, almost inexplicable urge to, like, completely tear down your living space?
Oh, like a massive urge to just rearrange all your furniture or completely audit your entire career path.
Yes, exactly. Just this intense, restless, rejasic energy. And you think, it's just a random mood swing. But what if I told you that it's not born in your own isolated mind at all?
Right. It's actually a direct mathematical instruction coming from a celestial body sitting countless light years away.
Exactly. I mean, we look up at the night sky and we just see this silent, static canvas, just a painting of trees. We assume they're passive observers.
But the moment you step into the depths of ancient Vedic astrology, that illusion completely
It
shatters.
really does. You suddenly realize the cosmos is this active, roaring, relentlessly intelligent karmashala, like an actual divine workshop of creation within the vast darkness of the Brahman.
It is a fundamental shift in perception, honestly. When we stop seeing the universe as just a backdrop to our human drama, we start to actually understand the invisible mechanics of our own existence.
Right?
The stars aren't silent at all. They're constantly vibrating with instructions. They're shaping the very architecture of our reality and our destiny.
And tracing one of those really pivotal cosmic instructions is our exact mission for today's deep dive.
I am so looking forward to this one.
Me too. We are diving into a profoundly spiritual text. It's a revered astrological treatise by Milind V. Thakur, the founder of Mitra Occult's astro consultancy.
A phenomenal source.
Truly. And our goal today is to meticulously follow the journey of Chandra Dev, the moon, which is the celestial significator of the human mind, right? We're tracking it as it departs from the physical realm of the artisan's hands and crosses into the visionary realm of the architect's mind.
We are exploring the profound transit of the moon entering Chitra Nakshatra.
Yes. But before we even get into the complex astronomy or the sacred geometry of this nakshatra, we really need to talk about the framing of this text.
We absolutely do, because the author, Milind V. Thakur, he doesn't start this work with some loud declaration of his own astrological mastery.
Not at all. It's the exact opposite.
Right. He starts with this deeply moving expression of cosmic humility. He sets a strict spiritual parameter for how this knowledge is even supposed to be received.
It's incredibly powerful to read. The text basically declares that this profound occult knowledge doesn't belong to the author. It doesn't belong to any human institution.
No, the assertion is that the supreme gyan belongs exclusively to the Vedas.
Exactly. It belongs to the ancient rishis who first decoded the starlight. It's the property of the nakshatras, the rashis, and those divine forces running the entire Brahman.
And I love how the authors at Mitra Occult's astro consultancy position themselves. They just call themselves Vidyarthas.
Perpetual students.
Yes, just students trying to capture a single droplet from this unfathomable ocean of cosmic intelligence. They say they are nothing more than Sanishwahak.
Humble messengers.
Right, messengers passing on divine signals to true seekers. And they make this beautiful vow, basically saying that if there's any truth in their analysis, it is solely by the grace of the ancient rishis.
And if there are any flaws, they just willingly take all the blame on their own human intellect.
It's a beautiful way to approach the occult sciences.
It really alters your posture as a reader. And hopefully, for you listening right now, it changes how you receive this. We aren't just reading a textbook today.
No, we are participating in a sacred transmission of ancient sciences.
So, to honor that specific protocol from the text, we have to start our exploration exactly the way the author does. We need to invoke those divine frequencies.
We must. It's essential to ground our discourse in that exact vibrational energy. So the treatise opens with 4 deeply resonant shlokas.
Please, go ahead and share them.
They are Jonas.
They're wrong.
Or into making reincarnation a player's game. But typically a submit to about... So having invoked those presiding energies, let's actually trace the path of Chandradev. Let's look at the exact moment the moon transits out of Hasta Nakshatra and enters Chitra Nakshatra.
This is where the magic happens.
Right. Because the text draws this incredibly stark, almost startling contrast between these 2 lunar mansions. I really want to break down the mechanics of this shift.
Oh, well, to understand the shift, we have to define where Chandradev is leaving from, and that is Hasta Nakshatra.
Hasta, which, based on the Sanskrit root, literally means the hand, right?
Exactly. It is the realm of the hand. It governs Hasta Koshal, which is the supreme perfection of manual skill, the physical manipulation of matter.
So when the moon, which is our human consciousness, our emotional mind, is transiting through Hasta, the focus is entirely on the artisan shaping the clay. Yes, it's about that relentless, repetitive practice you need to perfect a physical technique.
So if we use an analogy, Hasta is basically the domain of tangible effort. It's the highly schooled stonemason, right? The guy whose calloused hands strike the chisel with absolute practiced precision.
That's a perfect analogy. The stonemason doesn't necessarily conceptualize the entire monument.
No, he's just focused on the block in front of him. But his physical execution of that stone is absolutely flawless.
Right. And that is the essence of Hasta. It perfects the immediate skill. It's concerned with the practical, the physical, basically the necessary elements of survival and craftsmanship.
But then, the moment Chandra Dev crosses that celestial border into Chitra Nakshatra, everything flips.
The paradigm shifts entirely. Chitra is the realm of Divya Abhikalpana.
Divine architecture.
Divine architecture.
Majestic imagination, structural visionary design. We move away from the physical hands shaping the clay, and we enter the boundless expanse of the mind that is actually imagining the grand palace. So expanding on our monument analogy, moving from Hasta to Chitra is like moving from the stonemason sweating down in the quarry to the master architect.
Yes. The architect sitting in absolute stillness, maybe years prior, envisioning the sacred geometry of the whole place.
Right, he's calculating the invisible structural loads, figuring out exactly how the dawn sunlight will hit the central dome. He's conceptualizing the soul of the structure before a single stone is even extracted from the earth.
That is exactly it. Moving from Hasta to Chitra is the evolution from physical action to the intelligent, overarching blueprint.
And the text articulates this so poetically.
It does. It says, Hasta shapes the clay, but Chitra imagines the magnificent prasad, the grand palace. Hasta perfects the localized technique, but Chitra reveals the utkrisht kriti.
The ultimate transcendent masterpiece.
Right. When the moon resides in Chitra, human consciousness is just elevated. It goes into these divine realms of beauty, sacred geometry, and absolute precision.
It's the invisible underlying structure of fate itself. Hearing this, doesn't it feel like a direct parallel to the broader evolution of human civilization?
Oh, absolutely. The text isn't just describing a monthly transit. It's mapping the grand trajectory of human consciousness.
Right, because our ancestral origins were deeply rooted in Hasta. We were physically crafting stone tools, weaving rudimentary garments.
Just doing the desperate manual labor required to survive the unforgiving elements of Prakriti, of nature.
But eventually our consciousness demanded more than just survival, didn't it?
It did. The leap from fashioning a crude hunting spear to conceptualizing, say, the aerodynamic geometry of an aircraft, or moving from stacking stones for shelter to engineering the magnificent structural poetry of the Taj Mahal.
That monumental leap is the essence of Chitra Nakshatra.
Yes, it is the arrival of Srijan, profound visionary creation, its supreme intelligence organizing matter into breathtaking beauty.
Okay, let's actually delve deeper into the celestial coordinates of this phenomenon. The text gives very specific astronomical boundaries for Chitra.
It does, and they are fascinating.
We need to decode this blueprint to understand how it influences our human Sriyan so heavily.
Well, the astrological span of Chitra is a cross-border territory. It actually begins in the zodiac at Virgo, 23 degrees 20 minutes, and it extends across the celestial boundary into Libra, ending at 6 degrees 40 minutes.
Okay, I really want to pause on that specific mechanism. It bridges Virgo and Libra. It's a massive shift in energy.
It's a huge shift.
Because Virgo is an earth sign, ruled by Mercury. It's characterized by intense analytical intellect, meticulous detail, material order.
Right.
But Libra is an air sign, ruled by Venus. It's all about aesthetics, balance, harmony, relationships.
And that, right there, is the crucial alchemy of Chitra.
How so?
In the Virgo portion, the energy is gathering all the analytical data, the earthly materials, the flawless mathematical calculations.
I mean, the Mercury work.
Exactly. But as the nakshatra crosses the border into Libra, that raw, calculated data is suddenly breathed into life by Venusian harmony. The intellect of Mercury merges with the beauty of Venus,
Creating the absolute perfect conditions for a master architect. You have the math, and you have the art.
Exactly. And astronomically, the primary star that marks this nakshatra is Spica, or Alpha Virginis.
Right.
Spica is one of the most spectacularly luminous stars in the night sky. And when the ancient rishis observed this intensely brilliant, solitary point of bluish-white light, they didn't just see a burning ball of gas.
What did they see?
They perceived it through their elevated spiritual vision and described it as a divine gem, a flawless, heavenly pearl shining in the vast, dark expanse of the cosmic ocean.
Wow.
And that sheer visual brilliance is actually the root of its name, Chitra.
So how does the text define the word Chitra in this specific occult context? Because in modern translation, people often just say it means picture. But this implies way more than that.
Oh, far more. The treatise defines Chitra as that which is wonderful, supernatural, deeply elegant, and divinely constructed.
Divinely constructed, I like that.
Yeah. The philosophy here is that the entire universe, the vast Brahman itself, is Chitra. The miraculous cellular complexity of your physical body, your pinda, is Chitra.
Right.
Even the intricate tapestry of human destiny is Chitra. It's all the magnificent, awe-inspiring artwork of the divine.
And to really emphasize this, the author includes this profound ancient reference, doesn't he? Chitram Divanamud Gadanikam.
Yeah.
Yes.
That shloka speaks directly to the awe-inspiring, miraculous nature of this cosmic energy as it rises and manifests in the universe.
It's basically a declaration of supreme divine wonder taking form.
Precisely.
Okay, so I am following the logic here.
Yeah.
We have the supreme beauty, the heavenly pearl, the elegant architecture. But I really have to express some genuine skepticism here on behalf of the listener.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Because I'm struggling to reconcile a massive contradiction in the text.
Okay, what's the contradiction?
We just established that Chitra is the domain of ultimate aesthetic harmony, delicate geometry, Venusian grace, right? Yet the text explicitly states that the presiding planetary lord of Chitra is Mangal Dev Mars, the planetary deity of war, of blood and fiery aggression. And on top of that, it categorizes its gana, its fundamental temperament, as Rakshasa gana, which translates to demonic or fiercely destructive.
True.
And finally, its yoni, representing its instinctual nature, is the Mata Bhag, the female tiger.
Yes, the female tiger.
So how do we reconcile this? How does the destructive fire of Mangal, the chaotic destruction of Rakshasa, and the predatory ferocity of a tiger give birth to the elegance of a pearl? Is this a paradox, or am I just fundamentally misunderstanding creation?
It's actually not a paradox at all once you understand the hidden mechanics of manifestation. But you are absolutely right to question this.
I mean, it sounds totally contradictory.
It does, because modern society has deeply romanticized the concept of creation, you know? We visualize the artist gently stroking a canvas in a sunlit, peaceful room.
Exactly. Drinking tea, painting a landscape.
Right. But the Vedic sciences understand that true, enduring creation, the kind that forges a new reality or shifts human paradigms, it is not a gentle, passive process. It requires immense, disruptive, and often violent force.
Wait, so the creation of beauty actually requires destruction?
Absolutely. Think about the architect who wants to build a magnificent palace. Before a single, beautiful marble pillar can go up, what has to happen?
You have to dig up the ground?
The earth must be violently excavated. Massive stones have to be fractured and blasted from the mountainside. Iron has to be subjected to the roaring, blazing heat of a furnace to be smelted into steel girders.
Oh, wow. I see where you're going with this.
That heat, that violent force, that relentless engine of execution, that is Mangal Dev. In the esoteric sciences, Mars isn't just the god of war. He is the supreme planet of execution and focused action.
So without Mars, nothing gets built.
Exactly. Countless nakshatras can generate brilliant, harmonious ideas, but ideas that just sit in the mind are merely daydreams. Mangal forces the abstract concept to materialize into dense physical reality. He's the hammer that actually strikes the chisel.
Okay, that significantly alters how I view Mars. But what about the Rakshasa Gana? Because in our cultural lexicon, Rakshasic energy is almost exclusively tied to evil, malevolence, chaos. How does a demonic temperament serve a master architect?
We really have to decouple the term Rakshasa from modern mythological villainy here. In this specific occult context, Rakshasa Gana represents a relentless, uncompromising, boundary-pushing obsession.
Obsession.
Yes, a true visionary, a master creator, is rarely a mild-mannered conformist, right? To build a revolutionary structure, you must have the sheer audacity to tear down the old, stagnant, traditional structures that came before it.
You have to break the rules.
Exactly. That requires a fierce, rebellious, obsessive energy that refuses to adhere to the status quo. It's the obsessive drive that consumes the artist until the masterpiece is done.
That makes total sense. And the Madhaba, the female tiger.
Yeah.
Where does her instinct fit into this divine architecture?
Well, think about the fundamental nature of a mother tiger. She is a creature of awe-inspiring beauty, right? Perfect, terrifying symmetry. But her primary characteristic is her raw, explosive power and her intensely protective ferocity.
Right, she will destroy anything that threatens her cubs.
Precisely. And when a true creator is giving birth to their Srijan, their ultimate vision, they don't treat it lightly. They protect that fragile emerging creation with the absolute ferocity of a Madhapa.
Wow.
They will mercilessly destroy any obstacle, any distraction, or any opposing force that threatens the manifestation of their masterpiece.
So the cosmic logic is actually flawless.
It is. You absolutely require the executing fire of Mangal, the uncompromising obsession of the Rakshasa, and the protective ferocity of the tiger to manifest and sustain true, divine beauty in this heavy, resistant material world.
The mechanism behind the paradox is so clear now. I mean, you can't have the flawless, delicate geometry of a diamond without the extreme, crushing, violent pressure of the deep earth.
What a beautiful way to put it. Yes.
So, to understand how this formidable Martian energy is actually channeled and directed so it avoids just being pure destruction and becomes divine creation, the text points us to the presiding deity of Chitra Nakshatra.
Lord Vishwakarma.
Yes. And the treatise by Milan V. Thakur is very careful to elevate our understanding of Vishwakarma here, isn't it?
Very careful. Because he's frequently, and I'd say inadequately, referred to as just the architect of the gods.
Right, like he's just drawing up blueprints for temples.
But he is not simply an interior designer arranging celestial furniture. He is the Divya Abhyanta, the supreme divine engineer of the entire cosmos.
Supreme engineer.
Yes. He possesses the ultimate knowledge of the quantum mechanics and structural physics required to maintain the Brahmans.
And the resume of his creations detailed in the text is just staggering. I mean, the treatise states that Lord Vishwakarma built Lanka, the legendary city constructed entirely of solid gold.
Yes.
He engineered Dwarka, Lord Krishna's magnificent, geometrically perfect citadel that eventually submerged beneath the ocean. He designed Amravati, the opulent capital of the Devas. He even conceptualized the aerodynamics of the Pushpak Viman, the flying chariot.
And bringing us directly back to the fierce energy of Mangal, he forged the Sudarshan chakra.
Right, and that specific duality in his creations, that is the very essence of Chitra Nakshatra.
It is. Just observe the spectrum of his engineering. On one side, he constructs Dwarka and Amravati, havens of absolute sanctuary, spiritual peace, unparalleled aesthetic grandeur.
Beautiful, peaceful places.
But then on the exact same forge, he creates the Sudarshan chakra, the most precise, terrifying, and ultimate weapon of unadulterated cosmic destruction.
Why, though? Why must the supreme architect of beauty also be the supreme weaponsmith?
Because Chitra is not merely about making things visually pleasing. It is about intelligent, divine structure and cosmic order.
Right, maintaining order.
Exactly. Sometimes maintaining the architecture of the universe requires building a sanctuary for the righteous, but other times maintaining that exact same cosmic order requires a weapon of absolute precision to annihilate disruptive, chaotic forces.
So the Divyapyanta understands that creation and destruction are simply two tools in the same engineer's toolkit.
That's beautifully said, yes.
You know, to ground this in a conceptual framework for the listener, let's think about the hierarchy of universal creation.
Okay.
If Lord Brahma, the supreme creator, is basically the ultimate CEO, right? His mind conceives the grand abstract vision for the universe, the initial sankalpa, the divine resolve that a universe should even exist.
Yeah.
Then Lord Vishwakarma is the chief engineer who has to actually figure out how to execute the CEO's vision. Brahma decrees, let the celestial bodies revolve, but it's Vishwakarma who has to calculate the precise gravitational constants.
The orbital mechanics, the spatial geometry,
Yes.
so that the galaxies don't just collapse into chaotic ruin.
Exactly.
The text makes this very explicit. When Brahma initiates a sankalpa for creation, it is Vishwakarma who must build its physical structure. He is the critical bridge spanning that vast chasm between the unmanifested formless thought of the divine and the dense manifested reality of the material world.
And this brings us to a phrase in the text that, honestly, I believe is the turning point of this entire astrological treatise.
Well, Trace.
It's the moment it takes this massive, incomprehensible concept of cosmic engineering and anchors it directly into our physical existence. The text quotes this profound ancient principle. I have to really some on my article.
Yatha brahmane tata pinde.
Yes.
As is the macrocosm, so is the microcosm.
Right.
Meaning, as it exists in the infinite expanse of the Brahma, the universe, so it exists flawlessly mirrored within the pinda, the physical human body.
The implications of that are just staggering if you really sit with it.
They are.
The text is basically asserting that the exact same divine engineering that calibrates the rotation of galaxies, that spaces the stars with mathematical perfection, that built the golden walls of Lanka, that exact same Vishwakarma intelligence is actively at work designing the cellular structure of my own body.
It is the ultimate truth of the occult sciences. Think about the double helix geometry of your DNA, the staggering electrical architecture of your nervous system, the rhythmic, tireless engineering of your cardiovascular system that just operates without a single conscious command from your brain.
Right, it just runs flawlessly.
That is not a biological coincidence. That is the Chitra energy. That is the signature of the Divya Abhyanta within you. You are not some random organism wandering through an empty universe. You are an intricate, beautifully engineered, and entirely deliberate manifestation of the cosmic design.
Which leads us right into what I consider the most philosophical, heavy, and consequential revelation in this entire treatise from Mitra occults.
Ah, yes. The architecture of fate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've talked about the physical architecture of celestial cities and biological bodies, but the text proposes there is an invisible architecture, a structural engineering of human destiny itself. It's referred to as Vaigilaka Adrishya Vastushastra.
The invisible Vastushastra, the sacred architecture of fate. This is the precise moment where Vedic astrology transcends the superficial realm of mere fortune-telling, and it reveals itself as a profound, exacting spiritual science.
Because the fundamental premise presented by the author is absolute. Human destiny is not random. It is a highly structured, mathematically precise, and heavily engineered edifice.
Yes. The treatise outlines this very strict, uncompromising chain of cosmic causality, and Milan V. Thakur presents it as an unbreakable sequence.
Can you walk us through that sequence? Because it's intense.
Of course. It states that absolutely nothing in your life is accidental. Every single event, every joy, every trauma, every serendipitous meeting has a distinct cause.
Okay.
Every cause was born directly from a karma, a specific action you undertook either in this life or previous ones. Every karma was born from a sankalpa, which is a deep internal resolve, desire, or intention within your consciousness. And finally, every single sankalpa is merely one calculated data point in a massive, overarching cosmic plan.
It's an immaculate ledger of cause and effect. And to manage this staggering complexity, the text provides this fascinating breakdown of the cosmic division of labor. It describes the divine administrative structure responsible for engineering your life's blueprint.
It reads almost like a celestial corporate hierarchy, doesn't it? Managing the ultimate architectural project, which is a human soul.
Let's meticulously walk through these roles as defined by the text. The prime initiator is, of course, Lord Vishwakarma.
Correct. Vishwakarma acts as the master creator, the chief architect. He holds the overarching structural blueprint of the massive karmic plan. He possesses the vision of what the soul's architecture is ultimately supposed to look like.
Okay, the second entity introduced in this process is Chitragupta.
Right. In the Vedic spiritual tradition, Chitragupta is the divine archivist, the cosmic accountant of the Akashic records.
The record.
Yes. He is the deity who meticulously, without any error or prejudice, logs every single karma, every fleeting thought, every hidden intention, and every physical action of every living soul. He holds the data that informs the architecture.
Wow. Okay, so the third entity is our fierce planetary lord, Mangaldev Mars. We explored his energy earlier, but how does he function within this specific architecture of destiny?
Mangal is the enforcer. He is the executor of the blueprint.
Okay, how so?
Well, Chitragupta provides the ledger of what is owed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be it a karmic reward or a karmic debt. And Vishwakarma provides the structural timeline. But it is Mangal who forcefully puts the plan into physical action.
Ah.
He is the dynamic mechanism that delivers the precise events, the sudden crises, or the forceful breakthroughs into your physical reality at the exact mathematically mandated millisecond. He doesn't negotiate, he executes the karmic architecture.
He strikes the chisel.
Exactly.
And the final entity in the sequence is Chandra Dev, the moon, which, as we established, represents the human mind and consciousness.
Yes. Chandra is the ultimate recipient of this entire cosmic operation. The moon represents the entity that must actually experience the fruits of all these intricately engineered actions.
The experiencer.
Yes. The profound joy, the devastating sorrow, the physical pain, the euphoric triumph. It is the human mind that must walk through the hallways of the karmic architecture that the soul has built.
I really have to pose a deeply existential question here, because I suspect you listening to this rigorous, unbroken chain of causality are feeling a sudden weight of determinism right now.
It can definitely feel that way.
If our destiny is this flawlessly pre-engineered building, conceptualized by Vishwakarma, recorded by Chitragupta, and ruthlessly enforced by the Martian fire of Mangal, are we just prisoners in this structure?
That is the most vital question any student of the occult can ask.
Are we just wandering helplessly through a predetermined maze of our own past actions? Or do we possess any agency, any free will in the ongoing construction of our life?
Well, thankfully, the treatise does not leave us in a state of fatalistic despair. It provides the key to our agency through the fundamental nature of Chitra Nakshatra itself.
Okay.
Remember, Chitra is not a passive energy. It is the energy of dynamic, intelligent creation. The text emphatically states that Chitra is the frequency that teaches the human soul to convert vision into action,
Right.
to manifest a plan into reality, and most importantly, to transform abstract knowledge into profound lived experience, anubhuti.
So the cosmos doesn't view us as mere passengers in the vehicle of destiny. We are expected to be active builders.
Precisely. And to illuminate this, the author integrates one of the most profound spiritual principles from the Bhagavad Gita.
Yoga karma sukhasalam. Excellence in action is yoga.
Yes. This is the absolute beating heart of Chitra Nakshatra. Your past karmas have indeed laid down the foundational blueprint of your current circumstances. The walls of your present reality were built by your past actions.
Right, you can't change the walls that are already up.
Exactly. However, how you execute your actions in this exact present moment, the kushalata, the supreme skill, integrity, and excellence you bring to your current choices. That is the domain of your free will.
That is so empowering.
It is. That excellence in action is how you pick up the chisel, stand shoulder to shoulder with Vishwakarma, and actively refine, alter, and elevate the architecture of your future destiny.
That completely reframes the entire concept of karma from a punishing ledger into a collaborative architectural project.
It really does.
Let's bring this profound celestial philosophy down to the immediate physical reality of the listener. We've examined the cosmic machinery, but when Chandra Dev actually astronomically transits through the 13 degrees and 20 minutes of Chitra Nakshatra in the sky,
Yeah.
what is the tangible psychological impact?
What do we actually feel?
Exactly. What does a human being actually experience during those hours?
The psychological shift is incredibly palpable, provided one has the awareness to observe it. The treatise observes that during this specific lunar transit, the human mind is subjected to a subtle gravitational pull toward improvement.
Improvement, structural organization, and aesthetic beauty.
Yes. You may awaken one morning and find yourself possessed by a sudden, undeniable, almost urgent need to build something new, to aggressively organize the accumulating chaos in your life, or to dramatically beautify your immediate environment.
It is exactly that sensation I mentioned at the very beginning of our deep dive.
Yes.
That overwhelming urge on a random weekend where you feel compelled not just clean your room, but to completely optimize the spatial geometry of your furniture, to overhaul your 5-year career roadmap, to categorize your finances, and to impose absolute beautiful order upon your life.
And we culturally dismiss those moments as random bursts of motivation, right? Or perhaps lingering effects of a strong cup of coffee.
Right. I just had a productive Saturday.
But the occult science reveals the profound mechanics behind this phenomenon. It is not random. It is the subtle, invisible, yet highly potent inspiration of Lord Vishwakarma, vibrating directly through the human subconscious.
Because, as we established, the moon is the receptor. It represents the mind.
Exactly. When the moon enters the celestial territory governed by the Divyapyanta, our individual mental frequencies are forcefully aligned with the cosmic urge to structure, engineer, and beautify.
The supreme architect of the universe is essentially whispering into your subconscious mind.
Yes, urging you, compelling you to bring divine order to your own personal micro-universe.
So the next time you, the listener, experience that sudden, intense inspiration to completely redesign your life's trajectory, or even just the sudden urge to organize your workspace with mathematical precision, you should recognize it for what it truly is.
It is not just a fleeting mood.
No, it's the cosmic geometry of Chitra Nakshatra manifesting in your living room. It is the literal, verifiable inspiration of Vishwakarma acting through your consciousness, demanding that you elevate the architecture of your existence.
It is a profoundly beautiful realization. It proves that we are not isolated from the cosmos. Our daily psychologies, our sudden bursts of creativity, our deep desires for harmony, they are the direct echoes of celestial movements.
As we approach the conclusion of this incredibly dense, revelatory text by Mitra Occult's Astro Consultancy, I'm really struck by how the author, Milan Vithakur, chooses to finalize his treatise.
It's quite poetic.
It is. He doesn't end with dry astrological data. He brings this deep dive to a majestic, deeply emotional, and spiritually resonant close. He leaves the reader with a final, overarching metaphor that perfectly encapsulates the entire philosophy we've just dissected.
It's a metaphor that I believe summarizes the core truth of human spiritual evolution. The text reminds us with deep compassion that every single human soul entering this physical realm is essentially an uncut gem.
A rough, unpolished, asymmetrical stone pulled straight from the earth.
Yes. And the journey of human life, with all its agonizing hardships, its fleeting joys, its brutal lessons, and its supreme triumphs, is the ongoing, relentless process of polishing that cosmic gem.
Human experience itself is the chisel.
Exactly. The events of our lives are constantly, forcefully striking the rough surface of our ego. And our karma, the choices we make in response to those strikes, the kushalata we discussed, determines the final, breathtaking shape that the soul will ultimately take.
We are all, quite literally, being carved into something magnificent by the cosmos.
We are.
The author leaves us with a series of closing blessings that serve as a perfect synthesis of the massive energies we have explored today. Let me share them with you exactly as they are written in the treatise.
Please do.
May God grant us the profound vision to recognize our life's divine plan. May Lord Vishwakarma grant us the infinite wisdom to build our destiny. May Mangal Dev grant us the relentless courage to execute our actions. May Chandra Dev grant us the soothing coolness of deep introspection. And may Mitra, the divine friend, keep us steadfast upon the path of absolute truth.
A flawless invocation to close a masterpiece of occult literature and to honor the strict tradition, the cosmic humility, and the deep reverence of the source material. We must seal this transmission of knowledge in the exact manner we opened it. We must ground the energy once more with the original invocations.
Yes.
Yukiba, we see Moko hot
As we conclude this journey into the architecture of the cosmos, I want to leave you with a singular, lingering thought to contemplate. We have explored the fierce Martian heat required for creation, the divine blueprints of Vishwakarma, and the relentless, striking chisel of human experience. So I ask you to look deeply at your own existence today. If your soul is indeed an uncut celestial gem, and your daily hardships, frustrations, and experiences are the heavy, relentless cosmic chisel of the Divya Habhyanta, what rough, unpolished edges of your current life are undergoing the painful yet entirely necessary friction of being forged into your ultimate masterpiece.